Hey, what is going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about this kid who basically made the teacher run and almost pass out. This kid assaulted our teacher way back in like 5th grade, so I cannot wait to get into this story time because it is a pretty special story. So if you guys do enjoy this video, but basically, guys, this took place way back in 5th grade. I don't remember exactly when it was. I just remember it was near winter time because I live in Arizona, so it's always so hot. And I remember everyone had a hoodie and a jacket on, and I just remember being cold and it was rainy. So it could have been near monsoon season or winter time. I think it was around winter time. And basically in my class, there was this kid who wasn't all there too much. Now, no one knew exactly what was wrong with this kid. He was extremely smart and cool sometimes. Sometimes he would be a cool person, and like you can talk to him and joke with him, and he would help you pass and would give you the answers to the test. And sometimes he would get mad over the smallest things ever. Like some kid literally said Xbox was better than PlayStation because that's all we fought about. And this kid got so mad because this kid was a Nintendo kid. That's how mad he got. He got mad at PlayStation and Xbox. He was a Nintendo kid. So he loved Pokemon and all that, and he would get mad at anyone for saying his favorite Pokemon wasn't the best Pokemon. He liked that snake Pokemon. It was like snake spelled backwards. E-snake. I don't know how to pronounce it, guys. I'm not into Pokemon, but I know this kid loved Pokemon. He always had Nintendo shirts on, always had Mario merchandise on, and Nintendo and Pokemon and all that stuff. So this kid loved Nintendo. But that's besides the point. Like I said, he was a genius in the class, just not all there. He would get mad easily and just wouldn't get along with the teacher too much. He would constantly be getting put in trouble and be just doing some weird stuff. Like I remember he would scratch himself so much to the point where he would start bleeding a little bit, and the teachers had to tell him to stop picking on his scabs because his whole leg was a scab and his whole arm was just all scabs. He just kept itching himself, and he would always get in trouble for just being very bad. He would just do a lot of bad things, like purposely flood the bathrooms, which it never got too bad. Like he would flood it, but then a janitor would always be there to fix it, and he would always get put in timeout for that, or like sat out during recess. Like, you can't play for recess, Timmy, go sit in the corner, stuff like that. He had to sit in the back near the bathrooms, and he would always get in trouble for doing terrible things. Like he would try to climb a fence or throw things over a fence. And the way my elementary and middle school was it was in the middle of neighborhoods, so it was like our playground, and it was like a fence and then a little dirt alley because we live in Arizona, so it's like a dirt valley that's probably like 50 feet, and then a wall, and it's like a house, someone's backyard. So he would always throw basketballs or like volleyballs that the school would give us in that valley instead of us in people's backyards because it wasn't too far, so you can throw it. And he was pretty tall. He was really tall for a 5th grader. He was like 5'6", something like that for a 5th grader, which I'm 19 years old. I graduated high school and I'm 5'2", so that kid was pretty tall. But he didn't get along with the teachers too much. We only had one teacher because that's how 5th grade worked. You kind of had one teacher the whole day. And basically, this kid got the teacher in so much pain. So essentially, what this kid did was one day he was kind of quiet. Everyone was surprised on why he was super quiet and being nice to everyone. And basically, he had a water bottle. He asked the teacher to open the water bottle for him. And before we get into that, what this kid did was he got peppers. You know those yellow peppers that you can buy and you can eat them with stuff or something like that? He basically peeled it open or like cut it open and would put the pepper seeds and the pepper juice in his water, and he shook it up really well. He just shook it up, and it was one of those waters. It was like a hydro flask, but like a knockoff one of those. So it was all metal, so you couldn't see through it. And then he basically pointed up to his teacher and he was holding the metal part, and he asked the teacher to untie it for him because he's like, I can't get it open. The cap is too hard. I want to fill it up with water because in our classroom, since it was 5th grade, we had a sink with a nice little water fountain. So he raised his hand and he's like, hey, can I go get some water? The teacher's like, sure, Timmy, go get some water. We were just doing some assignments on some website. We had to do some random website. We had to watch like the guy and the robot. Yeah, if you guys know what I'm talking about, it's like Osmo and Tim. I don't know what it's called. It's like a dude and a robot, and they solve math problems together. But basically, we had to watch those on our Chromebooks with some headphones in. So we were doing that. The teacher's just grading on his C. He has no problem. Let the kid go up and get some water. Again, we live in Arizona, so you like legally have to let people get water because it's like 120 degrees. So the kid goes up to get water, and then he basically walks up to the teacher's desk, and he's like, hey, can you open this for me? I can't untie the thing. And it wasn't fully metal, so the top part was metal, but the water bottle itself was kind of like plastic. It was like one of those Gatorade bottles. You know those green Gatorade bottles with like an orange cap? It was like that, but the bottle itself was all plastic, and the top part was metal. So it was like a weird water bottle. I don't know why the kid had that, but it made sense on why he couldn't get it open. So he asked the teacher to open it. And like I said, he mixed peppers in there, like 4 or 5 of them, because the teacher went through his lunchbox and saw all the peppers cut up. So basically, they were small peppers, but had a lot of seasoning in them and were very spicy. So when the teacher is opening it, he basically, before the teacher could even open it, he left the little sucker part, the straw part, open. You know how the Gatorade bottles have those straws you pull open, you drink out of it, and you close it? He left that part open, so when the teacher put it close to him to open it, he squeezes the water bottle as hard as he can, and all the water with the pepper goes in the teacher's eyes, and the teacher closes the eyes and is just screaming, and he can't see because his eyes are burning, and he's running, and the whole time he's trying to find the sink, and no one knows what's going on because we're just taking our notes with headphones. And so we look up and some kids are panicking. Some of the girls in the class were like crying because I don't know why they were crying. They got worried. I was just confused, but I was a little nervous, and some of the kids were really nervous and scared. So I assume that's why they were crying, especially because they're not used to hearing a grown man cry and scream like that. And basically the teacher's running to the sink. That Timmy kid, that's his name's not Timmy, but I'm calling him Timmy, I guess. He's just sitting there screaming and laughing. He looks so happy and he looks so excited. I don't know what's wrong with that kid. The teacher's like running. He's like literally running to the sink, and basically everyone's just freaking out, doesn't know what's going on. And it's been a couple minutes at this point, or maybe it's been a couple seconds, and the time for me flew by. But basically, since we're in 5th grade, I'm sure you guys all know how your 5th grade classroom looked like. You know how since everyone's short because we're 5th graders, they put the sink and the drinking fountain very low? Well, the teacher was very tall. This teacher was like 7 foot tall. This guy could have been in the NBA. I don't know why he was a teacher. But basically, there's a sink, and then above it is the cabinets, obviously, for the teachers to keep all their materials and everything like that. They're just wooden cabinets, so it's nothing too major. But the teacher's very tall, and he can't see. So he finally found the sink, and he's trying to turn it on. He turns it on so he knows water's running. He's getting some water in his hands to splash his face, and then basically this kid is just so happy. This kid is going at the teacher's desk and just throwing papers around, trying to make a mess and knocking everything down because the teacher had a lot of papers on his desk because, like I mentioned, he was grading, and he was just throwing everything. He was just throwing it behind the teacher's desk, which was facing a corner, so he wasn't throwing it at any of us. And he grabs the teacher's laptop and throws it, but it was plugged in, so when he threw it, the charger unplugged and went and it almost hit some kid. It flew on their desk and slid off their desk. And those kids just jumped. They were scared. But then the teacher is still trying to find the sink and fix his face. And then this is all going on in 30 seconds to 1 minute. And the teacher literally tries to bend down, and he basically hits his head as hard as he really hard. He hit his head super hard on the cabinet as he was trying to go down to the sink to just keep pouring water in his face, and he just falls to the floor and his head is just bleeding. His forehead was bleeding. So luckily at the end of that, he didn't get too damaged or anything like that. He just got a big cut on his head from hitting the corner of the cabinet that's wooden, and that's why he was bleeding. So he was all good after that. But the teacher falls on the ground. Everyone was shoo, we're all 5th graders. We don't know what's going on. But luckily after 10 seconds, the teacher got back up. And basically after all the screaming, some girl pushed the emergency to call button. So in all of our classrooms, they have an emergency to call button, and then someone in the office would talk on the speaker system, how they would make an announcement. And basically, she's just screaming, help, help, help. They hear 2 or 3 kids crying. The teacher's screaming. They hear some kid laughing. So essentially, they send 2 teachers down and a janitor. The principal was with one of the teachers, and they see what happened, and we're freaking out. They took him out, basically told us all to calm down. The principal was there watching us, told him to all calm down. The janitor went, turned off the sink, kind of cleaned all the water that spilled on the floor, and basically the teacher asked us what was going on, and everyone just pointed to the Timmy kid, and we explained what happened. And Timmy right there was just laughing and saying, no, I didn't do that. And we can obviously tell Timmy was doing that. That's why the principal went up to his backpack to grab it and saw in his lunchbox he had 5 of those peppers peeled and had 3 more in a bag. So the teacher took him to the office, and they asked him and saw what was going on, and the kid finally admitted to it. And then after that, for a week, we had a substitute teacher. Every day we had a new sub. And every day kids were asking questions is he okay? Because we all really liked the teacher. We all loved him. He was such a cool teacher and would let us play cool math games all the time. And he was one of those really cool teachers. So we all were we're super worried. And the teachers wouldn't answer us. All the substitutes wouldn't answer us. We went to other classrooms and asked teachers around, and they wouldn't answer us. And some days we didn't have a sub, so they had to split us up. 12 kids would go to this teacher, 12 kids would go to this teacher, 12 kids would go to this teacher. And I'm in Arizona, so our classroom's 30 to 40 kids, which that's how all of the classrooms are. And essentially, we didn't find out what happened, but then a week later, luckily, the teacher came back. And the teacher explained saying he's all okay and good. He had some personal issues he had to take care of. That's why he was gone for a week. And then we saw him for a couple of days. He was teaching us, and after he just quit, he resigned. He straight up just resigned. And the principal just came in and talked to us and was like, guys, it's not your fault, because we all had a good relationship with the teacher. So I guess they were telling us it's not our fault, that nothing happened. It wasn't us. He had to resign for personal reasons. I honestly think he just didn't want to teach anymore. After that, he was pretty young, so maybe he did go play for the NBA. But after that, we never saw Timmy. Like, after that day where the principal took Timmy to the office after they found the peppers and everything, we never saw Timmy again. But then it's been like 10 years or something like that. We just passed 12th grade. So I found Timmy on Instagram, actually. I remembered his last name and looked him up. And I just started DMing him and I was talking to him. And when I found his Instagram, he had like 200,000 Instagram followers. So I was like, wow, this kid's popping. What's he doing? Is this the right person? And he remembered me. He actually remembered me. So me and him were talking, catching up. And I know it was him because we were talking about small things he did when he was in middle school, or his 5th grade middle school, elementary school, about like the Pokemon, the Xbox, the Nintendos, all of that stuff, the GameCubes, and just some personal stuff we like remembered together. And he seems like he's doing a lot better now. Like I said, he wasn't all there and like still texting him. I never called him, but I was texting him. He didn't seem like he was all there too much, but he seemed like he was doing a lot better. So I think that's why you got taken out of the school, was to get the help he needed to get. And, you know, he seems like he's doing really good. He was telling me he has like 6 million followers on TikTok. I'm not going to say who he is because I don't want to give out his brand, his business, because he's doing really well for himself. And I'm happy for him. So I don't want to like get him in any more trouble. But like, that was pretty cool that he's doing good. He is doing a lot better now, which is pretty cool. I don't know why he did what he did. I don't even know what the teacher did to him, but the teacher put him in timeout a lot. So maybe that was the reason why. But with that being said, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today's video on the time a student assaulted the teacher and made the teacher run and scream. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I know it's a pretty crazy story, but that's going to wrap it up for today's video. So I'm going to catch you guys in another video. Peace out.